The world is loud, too loud. Everyone is talking, everyone is explaining. Everyone is defending themselves, announcing their plans, revealing their emotions, shouting their intentions into rooms full of people who are quietly taking notes. In this noise, people believe that power belongs to the one who speaks first, reacts fastest, and explains the most. Machiavelli knew this was a lie. He lived in a world where one sentence could destroy a dynasty, where a careless word could cost a man his freedom, his influence, or his life. In Renaissance Italy, silence was not empty. Silence was loaded. Silence was strategy. The powerful were not the loudest voices in the room. They were the ones watching, measuring, waiting. Machiavelli observed something uncomfortable about human nature. People reveal themselves when they talk. Their fears slip out. Their ambitions leak through metaphors. Their weaknesses hide in jokes. Every unnecessary word is evidence, and the man who listens collects evidence. This is why Machiavelli never advised rulers to be expressive. He advised them to be unreadable. When you speak too much, you give people material to use against you. When you explain yourself, you teach others how to manipulate you. When you react emotionally, you surrender control of the situation. Silence does the opposite. Silence creates pressure. People hate not knowing what you think. They fear what you might be planning. In that uncertainty, they begin to expose themselves. They talk more. They overjustify. They lie badly. Machiavelli understood that silence is not passivity. Silence is dominance without effort. Most people talk because they are afraid. Afraid of being misunderstood. Afraid of being ignored. Afraid of losing relevance. Machiavelli saw this fear as weakness. The need to be understood is the enemy of power. Power does not explain itself. In political courts, Machiavelli watched men destroy themselves by trying to appear honest, loyal, or intelligent through speech. The more they spoke, the more fragile they appeared. The fewer words a ruler used, the more weight each word carried. Silence forces others to fill the gap, and when they do, they reveal everything. A silent man cannot be easily trapped. You cannot misquote silence. You cannot twist words that were never spoken. You cannot provoke a reaction that never comes. Silence denies your enemies the battlefield they want. This is why Machiavelli warned against impulsive speech. Reacting immediately feels powerful, but it is the opposite. Immediate reactions are predictable. Predictability is vulnerability. The ruler who pauses wins time, and time is the rarest advantage. Silence allows you to observe patterns. Who speaks when nervous? Who flatters when threatened? Who becomes aggressive when losing control? These patterns are invisible to those who are busy talking. Machiavelli believed that men are driven by self-interest, not loyalty. Silence lets self-interest expose itself. People reveal their motives when they think you are not paying attention. A silent ruler becomes a mirror. Others project onto him their hopes and fears. Some assume approval. Others assume danger. Both reactions can be used strategically. The mistake most people make is thinking silence means agreement. Machiavelli knew better. Silence means nothing except that you are not done deciding. An indecision terrifies people who want control. When you speak less, your presence becomes heavier. Your approval becomes valuable. Your disapproval becomes feared. Words lose value when they are cheap. Silence makes words expensive. Machiavelli saw that silence builds mystique, and mystique builds authority. The unknown is always more powerful than the known. People fear what they cannot predict. They respect what they cannot read. Silence keeps you unreadable, but silence is not absence. It is restraint. Anyone can shout, anyone can react, anyone can explain. Restraint requires strength. Holding your tongue when provoked is not weakness. It is proof that you are not controlled by the moment. Machiavelli believed that the man who controls himself controls the game. Most conflicts are won before words are exchanged. The one who shows emotion first loses leverage. The one who speaks first sets the frame. The one who stays silent forces the other to reveal their position. In negotiations, silence is a weapon sharper than threats. When you do not respond immediately, the other side starts bargaining against themselves. They lower their demands. They justify their position. They expose their desperation. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and discomfort makes people careless. Machiavelli did not admire morality in politics. He admired effectiveness. Silence was effective because it reduced risk. Every word increases exposure. Every explanation invites judgment. Silence keeps options open. Once you speak, you commit. Once you commit, you are limited. Silence preserves flexibility. It allows you to change direction without appearing inconsistent. The powerful never rush to clarify. They let confusion work in their favor. Machiavelli saw that people respect what resists them. A man who is always available, always responsive, always expressive, becomes predictable and disposable. A man who is selective with his words becomes important. Silence signals that your time, attention, and thoughts are not freely available. That alone shifts power dynamics. In Machiavelli's world, rulers who spoke too openly were seen as naive. Those who listened more than they spoke survived longer. Silence filtered allies from enemies. Loyal men stayed patient. Opportunists exposed themselves through impatience. Silence tests people. Those who cannot tolerate it reveal their intentions quickly. And perhaps the most dangerous lesson Machiavelli learned was this. People fear silence because silence forces them to confront their own thoughts. In that space, insecurity grows, and insecure people make mistakes. Silence makes others underestimate you or overestimate you. Both are useful. Underestimation breeds arrogance. Overestimation breeds caution. A silent man benefits from both. Machiavelli did not teach rulers to be mute. He taught them to be intentional. Speak when it advances your position. Remain silent when speech only satisfies ego. Most people speak to relieve tension. The powerful let tension build, because tension bends situations in their favor. Silence is not the absence of action. It is delayed action. It is action taken at the right moment, with maximum impact. And when the silent man finally speaks, his words land like judgment, not because they are loud, but because they are rare. Silence alone is not enough. Silence prepares the ground. Machiavelli knew that power is not proven by how long you stay quiet, but by what happens when you finally break that silence. The moment you speak after restraint determines whether you are feared or forgotten. This is where most people fail. They stay silent, but when they speak, they explain. They justify. They soften their words to appear reasonable. Machiavelli would have seen this as a fatal mistake. Words should not seek approval. Words should shape reality. The silent man does not speak to be understood. He speaks to be obeyed. In Machiavelli's world, decisive speech ended debates. It did not invite discussion. The ruler who hesitates in language invites resistance. The ruler who speaks clearly and briefly creates inevitability. Short sentences carry weight. Long explanations signal doubt. When silence is broken, it must feel intentional, not emotional. Emotion reveals attachment. Attachment reveals leverage. Machiavelli warned that anyone who can make you emotional can make you predictable. This is why he advised rulers to appear calm even when making ruthless decisions. Calmness suggests control. Control suggests legitimacy. Silence builds tension. Speech releases it in the direction you choose. Machiavelli understood fear better than most men understand love. Fear, when managed correctly, is stable. Love fades when it is disappointed. Fear remains as long as consequences are remembered. Silence strengthens fear because people imagine worse outcomes than reality. The unknown punishes harder than certainty. A ruler who remains silent during chaos appears untouched by it. This detachment creates the illusion that he is above the situation, not trapped inside it. People assume he sees what they do not. Assumption becomes obedience. Machiavelli observed that people follow confidence, not truth. Silence amplifies confidence when paired with timing. Speak too early and you appear reactive. Speak too late and you appear weak. Speak precisely when others are unsure and your authority solidifies. The silent man waits for the moment when everyone else needs direction. Then he provides it. Silence also protects betrayal. Plans spoken aloud travel faster than armies. Machiavelli lived among conspiracies, coups, and shifting loyalties. He learned that secrecy is survival. Those who talk about loyalty rarely deserve it. Those who remain silent test it. A silent leader sees who stays without reassurance, who acts without praise, who waits without complaint. These men become assets. The rest reveal themselves as liabilities. Machiavelli never trusted appearances. Silence stripped appearances away. In conflict, silence denies your opponent rhythm. People fight best when they can predict responses. Silence disrupts that rhythm. It forces hesitation. Hesitation breaks momentum, and momentum decides outcomes. Most men lose power not through attack, but through overreaction. Insults, accusations, provocations are designed to force speech. Speech exposes emotion. Emotion exposes weakness. Machiavelli advised rulers to ignore insults unless responding creates advantage. Silence starves the provoker. A man fighting an unresponsive opponent exhausts himself. Silence is psychological warfare without effort. The silent man controls the pace. He decides when things move forward and when they stall. Others are forced to wait. Waiting reverses power. Those who wait feel inferior to those who are waited on. Machiavelli saw that people equate silence with depth. A man who speaks little is assumed to think much. Whether true or not, perception becomes reality. Power lives in perception. Silence also allows denial. When accused, words trap you. Silence leaves ambiguity. Ambiguity protects. What cannot be confirmed cannot be punished easily. This is why Machiavelli valued deniability. Clear statements create clear enemies. Silence creates confusion. Confusion divides opposition. Divided enemies are manageable enemies. The final lesson Machiavelli understood was brutal. Morality does not protect the silent. Results do. Silence is not ethical or unethical. It is effective or ineffective. Use silence when it strengthens position. Break silence when it reshapes the field. Those who mistake silence for kindness are dangerous to themselves. Those who mistake it for weakness are dangerous to others. The man who masters silence never rushes to defend his reputation. Reputation follows outcomes. Victory rewrites narratives. Losers explain. Winners are studied. Machiavelli did not want rulers to be liked. He wanted them to endure. Endurance belongs to those who speak last, because the last word defines the story, and the one who controls the story controls memory. In the end, Machiavelli's lesson is simple but unforgiving. Talk less than necessary, observe more than expected, and act when silence has already done half the work. The world rewards noise today, but noise fades quickly. Silence lingers. Silence unsettles. Silence wins. Not because it is passive, but because it waits. And when it moves, nothing can stop it.